just don't know what it takes to be a YouTuber to do these. Hell, even do this live. You know, everybody want to call. It's supposed to be Christmas, right? People want to play music. As soon as I try to do the live just earlier ago, about 10 minutes ago, I get a call, and people want to play a little music. I really can't hear because I got the thing that kind of drown the noise, a little fan, whatever, the space heater. I said, yeah, just out here in this area. But then people, family want to call. But just y'all know that sometimes people make the videos, try to make a video, you might get 2 or 3 calls. Somebody asking, can they use this and use that and borrow this, whatever. Anyway, like, wait, now. So just know that it's not because people don't want to make videos that you might not see ones make videos every day. It's because something or someone gets in the way. You say you prepared everything, prepared your speech, everything. But yeah, just giving people a little time to come on in. I'm gonna start. It was what, minute now, minute 16. So around about 2 minutes. I'm gonna start. I don't really have too many people, watching my lives on lives anyway. But it's going to be about constitutional carry here in Florida, and about just this whole Christ mass and being an Israelite. And I might talk about trans women and relationships and whatever, right? But the main thing is going to be constitutional carry and your constitutional carry and Christmas, the pagan origin. I might not go to the origin that much, but just on Christmas, and as an Israelite, if you know the Bible, why you shouldn't really be into it. If you know better, do better. Okay, I'm finna go and start. So yeah, this is James B. Shalom. Yesterday would have been Shabbat Shalom. Um, just talking about. Basically, I'm gonna start with Chris Mass, right, or Christ Mass. While being an Israelite, for those who don't know that you're an Israelite, well, you should know with all the information that's out now. But if you're not familiar, people who look like me and you are the descendants of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, scattered through the four corners of the earth. And now it's our time to, yeah, to rule. Basically, 400-year prophecy. Go to Deuteronomy 28, verse 14, all the way to verse 68. So we fulfill those curses, and now we're going to the blessings, right? So 1619 to 2019 was a 400-year prophecy. We're in here. Those who know about April 8th, 2024, X marks the spot, Tov, all that. I probably do another video about that. But anyway, so yeah, Tov or Tov, right? So yeah, as being Hebrews, and while people like myself, while we don't celebrate, Christmas, we don't celebrate Passover. I mean, excuse me, we do celebrate Passover. What people call Passover is Easter. We celebrate, Pesach, which is called, Passover in English. Pesach, the other days, holidays, Feast of Tabernacles, etc., etc. We celebrate the days that we're supposed to celebrate. That's given to us by the Most High, right? The word Most High. Most of our people still celebrate these days because that's all they know. That's all they want to do, right? But if you go to church and you claim to go to a church that a pastor's reading from the Bible, and he's reading that, you should be separate, holy, right? That God's children, even if you're a Christian, right, you be separate, holy. That the days that the Most High given to you is different from the world. When you go in the Bible, the Most High said, well, these are the feast days I want you to keep. And you don't see Christmas and any one of those days, that should tell you something. Now, you do see Christ's birthday, or you do see, Christ being born, but it doesn't really give you a specific, date, right? But it was more around the time, they said around the tax season, I think it was around September. So I think Yeshua was mainly born, I think, through September, if I have it right, somewhere around that time. but it wasn't no dead winter. Like, you really don't find really no like high holy days or how Israelites celebrating like real big days in the dead winter, right? Because if you know about the solstice and the sun and the energy and all the stuff like that, a lot of things are dying off dead, and we know that the God we serve is the God of the living and of the dead, right? So in the winter, everything is dead. The only thing you come like close to that is like, I guess, what the Festival of Lights, or AKA that people get misconstrued with Hanukkah, but that's a whole nother video in itself. But no, like, keeping the Most High statutes, commandments. All right, when I was younger, I was very zealous and stuff. I would be like, when people tell me Merry Christmas, I would get offended. Like, because it was everything. It was like the Most High way or no way. But I just don't get offended by it. I just don't say Merry Christmas to you. I don't say that. I'll just be like, oh, you just have a good day, whatever, right? Or, okay, that's what's up, or whatever, or cool. However I might, but I don't never say like, yeah, or, Merry this or Happy that or Happy. No. Yeah, but that's what people want to do. Hey, that's your personal business. I mean, I know at one point I was walking in ignorance and I didn't know any better, and I thought that there was, people mean good. I understand some people have a good. It come from a good place, right? They it's all, they want to be about family, want to be about all that. But when you go into the origin of Christmas and Christmas and all that, and mixing the paganism with the holy, but also like say Christmas wasn't given to us as a holiday or a day to really celebrate and nothing like that, right? But it's good to recognize or deal with the birth of Yeshua, who the world falsely called Jesus Christ, to deal with the birth and recognize the nativity and the birth and Virgin Mary, Miriam, but to like actually bring in some Christmas tree with Jeremiah, the book of Jeremiah, speak against that. And there have some churches have went through being reformed through these things, man, who don't put up a Christmas tree anymore, because Jeremiah tells you that in Jeremiah, don't go after the way of the heathens. Don't do that. Don't nail a tree to the floor and that it stands up and decorated with silver and gold, all of that. So they mix their Saturnalia stuff with, Yeshua's Christ's birthday and the Feast of Purim. They mix a lot of their stuff with our feast and called it Christmas, right? And then try to put the whole, Tammuz and Ramesses, all that, right? But yeah, man, we're not doing that. So I'm not going to do it for y'all. Those who want to, know that you're Israelites and you want to say you want to be around your family on this day. Hey, that's cool. That's you. But for me, it's like, yeah, I'm not trying to partake into. It's 400 years. It's time to get right or get left. Period. That's what time is in. All these things that's happening on the earth is happening for a reason, right? All these signs in heaven. So it's time to really either wake up your family or just let them do what they do. You know what I mean? No love lost, no hatred, no nothing. Just, hey, I was commanded by the same God that you claim to worship to keep his high holy days. And his high holy days, Christmas, Easter, of course, we all know Halloween, right? Valentine's Day, none of those is not what he commanded us to observe. And we observe and reverence the Most High days, especially the Sabbath day. We wouldn't have even went through slavery and all this stuff for 400 of years. And so the Most High gave us hey, just do this. We want to put this and add this with this and no. Like, no, just do this right here and you will be blessed. Generations be blessed. If you want to see generational curses and all these things, miracles happen in your life and in your in the family, stop this stuff that you've been doing, these traditions and rudiments of the world, and not after the ways and the ways of the order of the Most High, man. Order of Melchizedek. That's what we talking about, man. That's what we on right now. So even though I say I'm not as zealous as I was when I was young, the passion, the drive, it's still there. The fire is still there. I just know it kind of like, as they say, well, harness it or however you want to say it, whatever. But yeah, man, that's what it is. Like, so it's the time. It's the Most High's time, man. It's the Most High, his children, to keep the law, statutes, commandments. And now we're getting the reparations too. We're at the point we're getting the reparations. As the prophecies say, they should come out with great substance. You know, after the 400 years of serving, inflicting 400 years, and after that, they should come out with great substance, right? And so I believe in Genesis and the prophecy concerning Israel, right? So we'll come out with great substance, reparations. But we're gonna come out even with more than that. All right, like so. Be prepared. You know, get prepared. The most I said 400 years mean 400 years. And we had the documentary that people was getting all tense about or firing people about was a Negro, the Hebrews, or something like that. I think the documentary. So at this point, I mean, for those of our people, ones in our family who don't want to really wake up, or they have heard, I know they have heard of other people say that we are the original Hebrews, we are the people of the book, that we are, but for some reason they still want to like not really fully come into the ways of the Most High, and they want to still play games and do all this stuff like that, whatever, that's on them. You know, we know that we are the people of the Most High. We are Israel. There's no getting around that, right? We are a great people. We are a great people. So that right there is a sign. And you have ones of our people say, well, I don't want to question God. I didn't want to question God. And I'm like, but that's how I got all this information about, you know, this knowledge that I have, that I question. You don't want to disobey the Most High God. But as a child, you know, you do question your parents, say, hey, Dad, Mom, why did we stop here to this store and we didn't go to, you know, to that store, right? Because it could be a better sale, could be a better deal, whatever, you know, but it's okay to ask questions. So where the babies come from? So I just never get, I don't like when people say nobody should judge, only God can judge. When the Bible says the saints shall judge the world, you know what I mean? Like, we are the saints of the Most High going to judge the world. Christ told the disciples, you should have 12 thrones judging the 12 tribes of Israel. All right, the kingdom of heaven. So there's going to be even the disciples judging, all right, judging people. The saints should judge the world. Who are the saints? We know in Psalm, tell you who the saints are. Children of the Most High. So we're going to be, you know, we're going to be judging the world. Okay? So the Bible says, you know, take the beam out your own eye. Christ said, take the beam out your own eye first. A lot of people, then you could judge, right? And judge a righteous judge. Just don't judge solely based off appearance, but judge a righteous judge. You know, a lot of people, they hear the word judge. Ones of our people, they hear the word judge, and they think automatically, oh, you know, condemnation. But judging could also mean being acquitted. All right, you could be acquitted. You could say not guilty. Or when people say, hey, you know, you're a good person, you have good values, you know, you're very pleasant. People don't really mind hearing that about them. But if somebody say, hey, you're a terrible, rotten individual. Oh, don't judge me, don't judge me. Or, you know, you're probably going to end up being somewhere you don't want to end up. And they don't want to hear that. But if somebody's telling us positive things, that's not judgment. You know, about ourselves, that's not judging someone. But it is judging. When to cross the street. All right, it's clear. All right, it's not. Oh, I'm not going to cross. That's judging. Oh, I trust this person with $1 million. I don't trust that person. I ain't going to give it to them. That's judging. All right, come on. Also, yeah, so you got to watch people like that. They don't like, you know, judging people that judge. Also, you have people who say that, they, you know, not the judge, but also people who like, I don't never question God. I don't, like, even when you pray, you never, like, just, you know, I don't know what Bible they read. The Bible I'm reading, people had questions. From Moses to David on down. They were had questions while they was praying to the Most High. So I don't know where these people get this, you know, where they come up with this, like, questioning God or questioning why, you know, why God, why are we going through this? As 400 years, why have we been going through all of this? Why do we have it the hardest? Why do I have it seem to, like, and answer your prayers, answer your questions. I never got that. But that's where the opening of knowledge comes from you asking that question. Okay? And then you could just do it, you know, you want to follow the Most High, but after you do it, to say, okay, well, God, why did you want me to sacrifice my son? Or why did you want me to do this? Why, you know, why put, you feel me? Like, So I don't. Questioning God is definitely not the same. Or questioning why you're in the predicament that you're in, or why you was born to this family, or why you have millions of dollars and other people don't have that kind of money, or you might not have $1 million, other people do. Asking questions. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. As long as you have faith, then you can wait on God to give you the answer. You know what I mean? And they deal with the answer. It's okay. You know what I mean? But it's nothing wrong. It's definitely not a sin to question. That's how you become informed and become enlightened through asking questions. And so yeah, that's on that, man. It basically, long story short, the Most High up and everything that come against the Most High, that the Most High shall despise the feast days, right? So your mouth could be towards God, but your heart so far away. So yeah, also we'll talk about constitutional carry. It's Florida. Constitutional carry. Governor Ron DeSantis has basically put constitutional carry on as far as the session, as far as the bill being signed. I believe it should be March. I know in March of next year. Coming up for the whole election for the presidency, and so basically he has to make this move if he want to basically get into the White House. So finally, it took a while. He was saying stuff here and there last year about just bring it to my desk and all that. But now he has trying to remember the guy's name, but he's House of Representatives, Florida House, basically just saying, hey, we're going to sign it. It's going to be signed. Blah, blah, blah. I shared the video, all that. Florida, agriculture, people that deal with agriculture and tourism, they have, because it's all about money. They made some excuse about constitutional carry, why they didn't want to pass it, because a lot of Dems, whatever, they didn't want to pass it because, or fight for it, because they talking about tourism, that a lot of people be afraid to come to Florida because of constitutional carry. And basically all constitutional carry is that what you do with your gun, you basically conceal it. You know what I mean? Basically, as you had a permit without getting a permit. So it's still not like, hey, you could just walk around with your gun open and everything. You still, and Florida does have open carry if you're walking or going like from fishing or hunting. But cops will still kind of stop you and all that. But we're supposed to have an open carry, have an open carry law on certain terms. If you're going to and fro, so you have to be like, yeah, I'm going from fishing, I'm going hunting, whatever, right? And there's been people who have done that, it kind of, I guess, to get the cops to stop them. There's videos on YouTube, you can see it. Some guys in Miami was doing that open carrying, and the cops was kind of like stopping them. But yeah, cops who was cool. Police, it was like, oh yeah, I don't care about it. Yeah, okay. So he has little fishing equipment on, and it was kind of funny, but kind of like, too sketchy, too, right? But whatever. But it's basically, you're kind of able to do what you're able to do with a permit without asking permission, right? Because it's a constitutional right. So it's kind of sad that you even have to have a bill for something that is already in the Bill of Rights, that already kind of, I don't want to say grants it, but already sets it in stone. Like, you have the right to keep and bear arms, meaning the right of the people to keep and bear arms should not be infringed. So the right of the people is the objective clause, and the militia, a well-regulated militia for the security state, with the right of people should not be infringed. Right of people to keep and bear arms should not be infringed. The well-regulated militia is the preparatory clause. So basically, this is the result kind of it, or leading up to it. But this is the objective. This is the objective. This is the purpose. This is, the main issue. This is the main thing we're dealing with here, right? It's the right of the people. So just like when you look at the First Amendment, the right of the people to do this, to freedom of speech, right? Look at the Fourth Amendment. So right? The right of the people. So when people say, well, it's not individual, we're just talking about militia. Anytime you see right of the people and it comes to any other amendment, that's talking about an individual right to keep and bear arms. So basically, if we need a militia to keep, people militant in case something happened, that the majority of people already have arms. They're already armed. And when it says arms, it means anything, any kind of weapon, knives, whatever, So that people, it should not be infringed. It should not be limited. Should not be none of that stuff restricted. should not be infringed. The right of the people. But when you start talking, and shout out to brother what the what for bringing that out. Supreme Court had already ruled on this. I think in 2007. It's an individual right. So don't come on this my live about that was talking about the militia. When you start talking about prefatory clause, and you start talking about objective clause, then yeah. Okay, yeah. So that's what's in the word. Basically, and we need constitution carry here in Florida. We need constitution carry in every state because you never know what's going to happen. You never know if somebody's going to be in a store where you're at and they decide to open fire, and you don't have any, firearms. And with the firearm, you need training. And I advise everybody to go take a firearm safety class. All right, that's the best and least you could do. Learn how to be safe with your firearm. But also, if you can, if you have the money, if you're able to pay after you get the gun, to go get proper training, which I am in the works of doing that. Right, to actually be able to use your gun proficiently, be it trained. Even with just minimal training, but try to get more than that if you can. If we can, right? So, yeah, because it's about keeping you and your family safe. The police are not going to be there every time something happens. In those split seconds, they're not going to be there. Most likely, they're not going to be there. So if the police happen to be there, that's good. But they don't have to be there, and they're probably not going to be there when it happens. So when this individual who wants to rob you, and the police are probably not going to be there. It only take like a few seconds to give it up. Whoa, okay. Or just to kill you for whatever reason. Could be high on drugs, whatever. And so yeah, you need that, man. You need your protection, man. All right, it's a God-given right. Only the Second Amendment right is a God-given right, and it's also in the Bible. Yeshua told his disciples to go get your sword, sell your cloak, go get your, and go get your sword. They came back with two. The council doctrine is also in the law, in the Torah. Especially if somebody broke into your house at nighttime, you could kill them. All right, or let me phrase it. You could eliminate the target. You could take the target out, the threat out. Right, you can eliminate the threat. Yeah, and the blood will be free from your hands. Okay. So, there's things that are based off of the Bible, that laws that are based off that. But if you want to, basically, like say, if you had suffered an invasion, if the people in the country are armed, like in Switzerland, a lot of people are armed, and they have, good training, a lot of training as well. Hitler didn't want to go into Switzerland. It's going to be hard to take a country like that over because after you get through with the armed forces, now you have another armed force, which is the people, and they're trained with those same weapons very well. And they're trained at the level as the military to a certain level. So they have that paramilitary or military training. So a vast majority of the people in that country are well-regulated militia, right? They're well-regulated in that. And they wasn't trained right when they was invaded. They was trained years, months, before the invasion. So, good try with that, right? Good try with trying to take them over. You don't want to be like Ukraine, who restrict their people from owning. You don't want to be like Ukraine, who don't like black people, and they don't like LGBT people, and they didn't like people being armed until they was invaded by Russia, and then they giving out guns like it's candy. But you want to train the citizens, same citizens you didn't trust with firearms. Now you want to give them training with those same firearms, because now they can protect the country, but they couldn't be trained on how to protect their family. So you don't trust them enough to protect their family, with those guns and say, hey, get your gun. You're Ukrainian citizen. Here go the gun. Yeah, protect your family, protect your wife. Oh, but to protect, politicians' asses. But anyway, anyway. So yeah, man, protect yourself. Protect yourself at all, because yeah, the whole elitist mindset. Do not give into that, man. And it's your right. Whatever the criminals have that terrorize your neighborhoods, you want that. Whatever make them say, you know what, about face, I'm about to be out of here, peace. That's what you want when they're trying to inflict harm and danger and injustice towards your family. When they're using deadly weapons that they don't care to get a license for, they don't care about a background check. They will try to get those guns, even make them if they can, and you're left defenseless because somehow you think a criminal is going to give up their power. Are you out your freaking mind? All right, the thing that makes them feel powerful. And anyway, so no, but when things go down, and somebody said, yo, Texas, because Texas had constitutional carry, I think almost about a year or so now. But somebody told me, I think in one of my videos, I think the video clips, news clips I had about constitutional carry in Florida, that he said, yeah, in Texas, a lot of people still don't carry. Even though they still have constitutional carry, a lot of people still don't carry. And I just say, a lot of people don't really care about that unless it happens to them. Then that's when they start to carry, right? Or they start to really take things seriously when it affects them personally. But if they have gone through maybe 15 years, 20 something years, 30 something years, and never have been faced with any type of deadly threats, then they feel, well, hey, I'm good, right? Or I don't care around that gun energy, so I never had nobody pull a gun out on me. I never had a life or death situation, or they never survived a mass shooting or whatever. But until it affects them or someone really close to them, that's when people will start to carry. But because of Texas laws, and this not for all Texas, because you have Houston, they say Houston's like the new Atlanta. It's very Democratic, very left. And I'm not very that political myself. I don't, go out here and vote for none of these, But if I were, it wouldn't be for, So, I wouldn't vote for anybody that restricts me of my God-given right to protect myself, right, and to keep myself and my family safe. To have a fighting chance, I don't know. But I don't. They're both different sides of the same coin. I don't. But now, since reparations, I mentioned earlier, since reparations on the list, like I say, I might consider maybe voting, because I said too, okay, we get reparations. All right, we could talk, but if you're not gonna give me reparations, we ain't really got nothing to talk about. You know what I'm saying? Like we're not, you got to vote for what? All right, so because you got to at least be on a similar playing field. And if you're gonna give me the same issues and not really give me the solution that will put me in a position of power, we ain't got nothing to talk about. Period. And that's what any other group really wants. It's okay, you're going to put a position of power. Are we going to be a protected class? I mean, what you going to, what do we get out of this? If we're going to vote for you, all right, what kind of, So yeah, man, that's constitutional carry, and not permanent carry. It's a constitutional right, and you do have a right to protect yourself and your family, right? So, yeah, just with that, man, like, yeah, you have a right to protect yourself and your family, get your training up, and yeah, just keep the Most High law, statutes, commandments to the best of your abilities. Here, and coming out with great substance. So this James Spears all I want to say on this live, and y'all be good, man. Shabbat shalom. I mean, if you happy high holidays, shalom.